What's
So
going on?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I had the timer on.
It's all good. Where are you? Where do you live?
I'm in Kansas right now.
Okay. All right. You guys
Yeah.
safe, healthy, all that stuff?
Yeah, it's just raining a lot here, but my family's good. What about you?
Yeah, we're in the tri-state area, so we're in New Jersey. We're in like
Uh,
kind of bad area as far as the
yeah,
virus goes, but we're all safe and healthy. So
that's good.
yeah, everything's good. And thanks for joining me. I know obviously you're probably doing a lot of these this time of
Yeah,
right? Everybody wants to go on the FaceTime and get content and stuff like that. So I appreciate you coming on here with me.
yeah, of course.
So let's dive into it. Why don't you tell everybody your kind of your softball background, where you kind of grew up? Did you play softball at an early level, and was softball your main sport growing up?
Yeah, so my name's Kelsey Stewart. I'm from Wichita, Kansas. I started playing softball when I was probably about 8 years old, and I got asked to be on a team because there wasn't enough girls. So that's how I even started playing softball. I was a gymnast until I was about 16, and then I decided to play softball. I take it more seriously. Um, I played travel ball all the way growing up. I started playing for the Wichita Mustangs when I was probably like 13, I think. And then went to the University of Florida, had the best 4 years of my life. And I've been on Team USA now this is my 7th year.
Yeah.
And then I just signed with Scrapyard and Athletes Unlimited.
Awesome, awesome. So, at an early age, like when did you get recruited to go to Florida? And was Florida? I gotta imagine Florida wasn't the only school after you. And when did you know you were going to go to Florida?
So I got recruited from Florida my 8th grade year. I got my first letter from them. My dream school was actually Alabama, and they offered me first. And the day I was actually going to commit to Alabama, Coach Watton called me and was like, "Hey, like we found money. Like, do you want to come to Florida?" And I just found myself always comparing everything to Florida. So that's actually where I wanted to go. I ended up wanting to go, but I was going to go to Alabama because they could give me the money I wanted. And then he found the money and went to Florida.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you're kind of that new wave of like softball player and baseball player. Like everybody I've spoken to on here, they're like, I didn't get recruited till sophomore year, junior year. I guess they're a little bit older. They went to school in the early 2000s. You're kind of more the 2013, 14, 15, 16 when they started recruiting. Now 8th grade, 9th grade. So you're
Yeah.
in that new wave of recruitment where you're getting 8th grade, 9th grade looks. So was club ball where you got your most looks, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think club ball at the time was like 100% the only way you got recruited.
And were you always big onto like looking at the gear? Because you seem to be like kind of like different when it comes to softball. You're like a gearhead, I guess you could say. You have
Yeah.
I got your glove here, which we'll
Oh,
talk
I
about
love
later.
it.
And bat wise too. Were you always like kind of like a gearhead looking at the bats and stuff like that at an early age?
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite parts of softball and baseball is like the gloves and the batting gloves and the bats, all that stuff. Like I've always been a big fan, but then in college, it really hit like something different that I was like, what's happening to me? Like I had to have all the best stuff. But then after college, when I finally was sponsored by Wilson, it really like, I have a problem now.
So when you go to Florida, I mean, you kind of light it up that every year as far as hitting goes. And what position do you play in the field?
I played second base freshman through junior year, and then my senior year, one of our girls tore their ACL, so I had to play shortstop.
Okay. And do you remember what you guys used? Was it Wilson gloves? Were you guys a Wilson DMV school, or was it an Easton school at the time?
We were an Easton school, but I actually always used a Wilson glove, and then I covered up the Wilson logos with like gator stickers.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sure Wilson likes to hear that. Easton probably doesn't like to hear that, but that's all.
Yeah.
That's in the past.
Okay. They're Wilson now, so whatever.
Yeah, they are Wilson now. So your highlight obviously was the back-to-back national championships. Can you run us through that? Was that like you guys were going into that season, were you guys poised to be that number one team? And was that definitely the high of college? And what's one of the lows of college that you would say to walk anybody through? Because a lot of people are going through some low times right now with missing their senior year, missing junior year, missing a freshman year. What would you say to anybody that's missing that year of baseball or softball?
I mean, I think definitely like 1 year doesn't define you. I
Mm.
think that like if you're meant to play softball at the next level or baseball at the next level, like the opportunity will still present itself. Like God's plan, no matter what it is, it's true to whatever you want. And I think that yeah, it really sucks that you didn't get to enjoy your senior year. I mean, senior year is one of the best years, but I think that you can really either one, you can go back, which is really cool, and you can repeat your senior year, or if you're ready for that next step, because I know life is on pause for a lot of people. I think that it's a good opportunity to kind of find yourself. And I think that there's another level for all athletes, whether it's AAA, AA, single A, whatever, independent. And then with softball, we have the pro league, and we have a bunch of different things that you can do now with softball. I think that that's a great opportunity. And just because you didn't get your senior year, I think you should still try.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So winning the back-to-back national championships, like you get that one out of the way. Was it harder to repeat that in year two, or because like year one you get it, are you guys satisfied, or like was that team so hungry in year two?
Yeah, so it was interesting. So the first one we won, we actually went through like a losing spurt. Like I've never been swept in my career, and we got swept by Tennessee that year. And I think that's the only time I was ever swept in my career. So it's interesting. Like we had to kind of dig deep. Like I think the first one was harder than the second one because like we didn't know what to expect. Like at that time, half of us had only been to the World Series one time or none at all. So like it was interesting because we didn't have that leadership other than Hannah Rogers, who was like going after it. And then I think right before postseason happened, like Hannah Rogers hit this switch and she was like, I won't be denied. And then it kind of just like filtered to the rest of the team, and we ended up running through the tournament, honestly. And then the second year, I personally think it was easier for the simple fact of like we knew what to expect. At that time, the only people that hadn't won a national championship were the freshmen. So like you're talking about like the majority of your team had been there, done that. And I remember we got back to school and coach like brought us into a room, and he was playing all of we thought it was like this cool thing, like he was gonna play all of our highlights. And all he did was play low lights. So, like, it was like missing the ball and, like, tripping. And, like, it was so bad. And we kind of all were looking at him like, dude, what? And and he was like, yeah, like, what do you guys want this year? Like, this is what this year's going to be like. Like, what do you want? And we all kind of were like, to win again. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do we want? So then, like, from that point on, like, the grind was super serious. And, I mean, I think we had our like we lost to Michigan that one game that year and like all that stuff, but like I never had a doubt we wouldn't win the Natty.
The Natty, everybody always calls it that. That's funny. So the coach, Tim Walton, right? That's his name. So what's the relationship? I mean, it seems like you're even close with him after going to school. Like he seems like a big part of your softball journey. Is that one of the reasons why you chose Florida too?
Yeah, I mean, I think Coach Walton was the main reason I chose Florida. Like, if I had to like compare coaches, like he just fit me as an athlete. Like I need someone that's straight up and it's going to tell me like, no, you suck, that's why you're not playing, kind of thing. And he is 100% straight up. Like it might hurt sometimes, but you're going to always get the truth, which I respect as a coach. And then like it's really cool now that we're out of school, like how close, like almost a lot of the players still talk to him, and like we have a good relationship with him. And like I owe everything I am as a softball player, as a woman, to him.
Awesome. Yeah. I definitely see that. I see the bond on social media, so that's why I figured that he was a big part of your softball journey. So then you play for the Pride team, right? The USSSA Pride after. And can you explain this league to some people that might not know about it? And why does this league? I've asked a softball player before who played in this league, why does this league not get as much love as like the MLB baseball? Is it like kind of like, it seems like softball doesn't have that next step where they could play? It seems like the Olympics really are that next step. What's this league, the NPF league?
Yeah, so I played for U-Trip. It was like weird because at the time that you couldn't play USA and pro. So like we were like that first transition of like you could kind of do both. So I really only played championships with the Pride. So that was like kind of interesting because I was with USA all summer. But the pro league is, I don't even know how many teams are in it now because I don't play in it. But I think there's like 4 teams now. Like it's not very big. And it's just basically what the MLB is. It's the NPF, and it's pretty cool. The league is really cool. Like obviously, like people think of has-beens, like we're all has-beens, like trying to still live out our dream. And I wish it was on a bigger scale, but I think with like the different things like the Pride and Scrapyard kind of went out of the pro league, and I think they're going to do something super cool this summer. And then with Athletes Unlimited, it's kind of like the best way I can put it is kind of like fantasy softball. So there's 56 girls. Every week a team's redrafted. You get points, like all that stuff. So I think that's a really cool thing that's happening for women's sports as well.
That's supposed to be this summer?
Yes, it starts August 17th.
Okay,
and goes
cool.
to September 27th.
And that's going to be broadcasted on like a network and all that stuff?
I don't know if it's on a network. I know for sure it's online, but I think they're
Cool.
still working out the kinks because obviously with the virus and everything that's going on.
Awesome. So people are going to have to be on the lookout for that. So has that rule changed now that you could play in this NPF league and you could also play for Team USA as well?
Yeah, it has kind of changed. I think that they're talking in their friends now, but obviously with the Olympics, like we were going to be gone from January all the way to August. So
Absolutely.
It was like impossible for us to do both. And then obviously next year it's kind of the same thing with the Olympics being postponed. But I think you can do both, yes, but it's still kind of hard as an athlete because like your downtime or your rest and recovery time is put into the NPF, and then like you don't get the necessarily downtime you need for USA. So it's kind of it's an interesting dynamic, but yes, you can do both if you want.
Okay, so they've changed that rule. So anybody listening, and so you played for the Team USA. You played for Team USA before, but was this going to be your first like Olympics, or have you played in the Olympics before?
This is the first Olympics I was going to be in. So softball was out of the Olympics.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we were back in 12 years. So this would have been my first Olympics. We had 2 returning Olympians, and then the rest we were all newbies.
Ooh, okay. So this is a hungry team, you would say, right? Very hungry.
Very, very hungry. Yeah.
So how you guys? I mean, this was training all year for this, right? I mean, for years now, right?
Yeah, like since I got on the team, like there was talks. This was my freshman year of college. There was talks of softball being put back into the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get into Rio, and that was the first one. So like everyone was kind of down about that. And then we ended up getting into Tokyo, which was amazing for our sport. So I think like the reason I stuck with USA for so long was because of that dream. Like I was holding on to hope that softball would get back in the Olympics, and then we finally did. And now it's first postponement in Olympic history, but here we are, super pumped. I mean, honestly, like I've never been on a USA team where we've had the same team every single year because it kind of just switches every year. So the team was named last October in 2019, and we got to train, and then we started training January 28th, I believe. And then we just went on, and like we were supposed to be traveling all the way until the Olympics. So I think honestly, if anything, it just benefits our team. We get an extra year to like really be as one and like know our left, our right, and front and back, you know, like those little things that people don't think matter in softball, like the chemistry, we get to just build on that because obviously we're great athletes or we wouldn't be in the position we are in. So I think that just the extra year just helps with the chemistry and knowing everybody.
Absolutely, and softball back in the Olympics definitely is going to be able to grow the sport on kind of that national level. You'll see, and we're all rooting for you. Let's talk about your gear because you are. I mean, I voted it. I voted it in here, and I even messaged you, and that's how we got in contact. I was like, your gloves. I saw you on the Wilson kind of Instagram story with Ryan. I want to talk about the glove. Like, did you design this glove? Did Ryan design this glove?
So me and Ryan did it together. I wanted something completely different that no one had done. And he was like, why don't we try the white snake skin? And I'm like, what? He's like, I haven't made a glove with white snake skin yet. And I'm like, okay, I'm down. Like, whatever. It's different. So whatever. And then, so the first prototype we got back, I hated it. And I'm like, we're probably not going to be able to do this because I didn't like it. But then we added that, it's the gray piece on the outside of it.
Yeah, right.
And then it like changed the whole glove, like just that little piece. It like literally changed the whole glove, and I ended up loving it. And I love everything about my first game model. So I hope my second game model can keep up.
Oh, do you have a second game model coming out?
I do.
Ooh.
I do.
Yeah, and it even has your signature right there, right?
Yeah. He was like, I've never had anybody ask for their signature on it. I'm like, why not? It's like our glove, like we designed it. So, yeah, me and Ryan are pretty close. We go back and forth all the time. And then my new glove that I had for the Olympics is pretty sick too.
Yeah, a lot of people have actually messaged me knowing that I was doing this kind of podcast video with you today, and they were like, ask her about her Olympic glove. So that Olympic glove you wanted to go all out on, right?
Absolutely. I had been begging. So I don't know if you know about the Old Glory.
No, no, yeah.
So it was a baseball glove. I guess in the MLB you can't have flags on your glove. So like Ryan designed this USA glove with the 50 stars. And then I was like, oh my God. And I've been asking Ryan from day one, like, I play on USA, let me have it. He's like, no. And so then I made a bet with him. I'm like, if I make the Olympic team, you have to let me do 50 stars on a glove. And he was like, okay, fine. And then I made the team. And then it was probably the fastest me and Ryan have ever made a glove. Like I went in and I'm like, I want red and white, blue, and all this stuff. So that glove is actually going on sale. I don't know if they're actually going to sell it this year or they're going to wait and sell it next year for the Olympics, because it was for the Olympics. So all of our Olympic gloves were going to go on sale. So I don't know if they're going to do it this year or going to wait and do it next year.
Ooh, okay. All right. That's something to be on the lookout. And then what type of bat do you use? Do you use a Louisville bat or DeMarini bat?
I use Slugger. I use the LXT usually, but the RXT just came out and I am obsessed with it. So I just customize all my bats and I just have fun with everything.
That's why you're no different than any 11, 12-year-old boy or girl out there, because you're a gearhead, I would say, and I mean that in a nice way. Everybody's obsessed with gear. You're like, do you like shoes, customizing shoes or anything like that?
Yeah, so I just got sponsored by Nike. So the amount of shoes I bought in the past month is unbelievable, and the fact that I get to customize all these cleats is a lot of fun.
Oh, that is a lot of fun. You're making a lot of different people out there jealous. So what did you major in at Florida?
I majored in telecommunications, so it's like broadcasting and radio and all of that.
Absolutely. So have you given any thought to kind of life after softball? Would you what's the dream after softball?
So I did radio for a little bit after I graduated. I did radio for Florida, and I really enjoyed it, but I think that after softball, I want to be a sports agent. I think that's my dream. So I think after the Olympics, I'll probably go and be a student coach somewhere and get my master's, and then I will try to be a sports agent. I think that's the coolest life. You get to stay in sports, and as an athlete, I think I know what athletes deserve.
Yeah.
And so I'd be able to negotiate those type of things, and I think that would be really cool.
All right, cool. So this is going to be a tough question. So next year, right, USA softball, you guys go there, you guys dominate, you kick some ass, you guys win the Olympic medal, and they make a movie about you. What actress is playing you in the movie?
Probably Beyonce. Everyone calls me Beyonce, so I'd probably say Beyonce.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I appreciate you joining me, Kelsey, and we're gonna do something. I'm gonna probably do a giveaway with your glove based around this podcast. All right?
That'd be awesome.
All right. So stay safe and healthy, and keep training. And are you staying busy training still? I saw you getting into the bow net.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do what you have to do. I'm supposed to go to Scrapyard May 20th, depending on, obviously, the virus and travel and all that. So I have to be able to stay in shape. So I've been working out, hitting on the bow net. I can't get much front toss or anything like that. But when you've been playing softball as long as me, it's kind of like riding a bike, I think. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. You'll be out there soon enough, and we're rooting for you, all right? Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
No worries.